Hello, I'm Sandy Arnett. On this edition of Commuter Connections, we've got information on a number of Baltimore Link related public meetings being scheduled for the area. We have an important look at rail and transit safety. You'll go behind the scenes in the travels of a veteran bus operator. And we'll introduce you to the MDOT/MTA Superstars Employee Awards Program and the holiday community efforts of the MDOT/MTA Police Force. All on this edition of Commuter Connections. Providing Maryland safe, efficient, reliable transit with world-class customer service is the #1 focus at MDOT/MTA. That's why the agency is reaching out to the commuting public to make you aware of a number of public meetings being scheduled around the area to get feedback on proposed service changes to some Baltimore Link bus routes. Joining me with information on the changes and area meetings is MDOT/MTA's Director of Service Development, Tom Hewitt. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So for viewers outside the Baltimore region, what is Baltimore Link and when did it launch?
Baltimore Link was a system-wide overhaul of our existing bus network. So it included 12 color-coded high-frequency lines called CityLink. We also had our local link service and our express bus link service that kind of provided the connections to our high-frequency CityLink lines. We also had capital improvements such as our bus stop improvements for the signage as well. This is something where our old signs just had the route numbers on it, and the new signs have more detailed information on frequency and the times that the buses run, as well as other capital improvements like transit signal priority and dedicated lanes.
So what was the reaction or the feedback that you got from the public?
It was positive. I mean, with a overhaul of this magnitude, there was a lot of comments that came in, but right after the launch happened on June 18th of this year, 2017, we took those comments and we made minor adjustments, on the fly. And then for the fall service change, which happened this past September, we continued to make adjustments.
Now, I know this was a major undertaking. So give our viewers an idea of what all was involved in basically revamping a whole transit system.
Yeah, it was an all-hands-on-deck approach. I mean, everything and every department within MDOT/MTA really had an effect on Baltimore Link. From service development, the department that I lead, to planning, engineering, real estate. That was a big push internally, but then externally we had a lot of public feedback as well. We had many different rounds of public hearings and public involvement sessions, and then also one of the other biggest things was our impact from our operators. The feedback we got from them was extremely valuable in shaping the Baltimore Link system.
And when was the last time we saw any changes to a transit system like this? I heard it was like maybe decades ago, 50 years.
I mean, I've heard
like
everything from 20, 30 to 50 years ago. A lot of these lines that we had were old streetcar lines that still have the ridership now, and that's where we put in our new service, like our CityLink lines, our high-frequent service that operates 15 minutes or better during the AM, PM peak, and during the midday. So we stayed true to some of the old historical lines, but we had a rebranding effort to make sure that we match the demand that the riders have.
So how many bus lines were actually changed in the whole Baltimore Link launch?
Pretty much all of them were changed in one way, shape, or form. Some of them were minor changes that were essentially just a route renaming, like the previous 8 or 48 line was changed to the CityLink Red, but then there were other lines that had more substantial changes.
Now I understand we're getting ready for some winter service changes. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, as we are going throughout the system, we continuously monitor. I mean, with any system overhaul like this, you want to continuously look at the data, look at ridership, look at on-time performance. And like I said, we had the tweaks during the summer and the fall change, but winter really was our opportunity to make a little bit more substantial changes. So we're looking at minor adjustments to about 24 of our bus routes going into winter. That also includes one new bus route that's going to be serving the old Sparrows Point, or now the Trade Point Atlantic development on the east side of town.
There's a lot of development going on in that area, so they, I'm sure, can use that route.
Yeah, and we really want to be able to, provide more accessibility and options for people to get to these job centers like Trade Point.
So with the winter service changes that you are about to implement, Why are they important? Like, why is it necessary to change the routes or to make adjustments during the course of the year?
I mean, it's always good practice to, when you have a system overhaul like this, that's the big work that was done. But we're always going to be looking at the system. We always want to make adjustments throughout the year. We have 3 service changes a year, and this is just the opportunity for us to kind of look. And since Baltimore Link launched, back in June, we can really look at our data, look at our operator and our rider comments, and make adjustments based on that feedback.
So with Baltimore Link, I guess what you're looking is to get people to now places that they need to go.
Correct.
Job centers are in different places now. Not everything is just downtown Baltimore.
Correct. And one of the other things we've gotten back from the riders is, one-seat rides, where people had to necessarily go downtown to then reach their destination back out in the, the first ring suburbs or out in the county. Now they can get those connections without having to go downtown. So we do see a lot more access and direct connections where previously we didn't have those.
Okay. So with the winter service changes now, there's some public meetings that need to take place. Kind of explain to us, once you propose what the changes will be, what's the process before those changes will actually be implemented?
We have the 30 days prior to the public hearings that we put out the notification. Then we actually have the hearing dates. So we have 2 weeks in November that we're going to be having our public hearings, and they're 10 locations, and they're selected based on the adjustments to the routes.
Okay.
So, you have a hearing location that's close to a route that we know is going to be modified in some way. And then we have a 30-day window after the last public hearing in order to get comments back. And then from there, we go back, we do our schedule adjustments, we do any other, route changes. We have to update our signage. So there's a lot that goes into, into play also with our enunciators on the buses. I mean, these are all kind of systems that occur in the background that we have to update before the service change goes live. And the winter service change is effective February 4th, 2018. Oh,
okay. So how are you getting the word out so that people are aware of the changes that are coming in, to know that they can come out to the public meetings and give their input?
Well, we'll be posting information on our website, mta.maryland.gov/public-hearings. So, anybody can go to the MTA website and get that information. Also, to follow our social media, our different social media feeds, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, all those social media, avenues. People can go on, and we always spread the word out that way. We also have information. We have announcements on our buses and our other modes, our light rail and metro, as well as car cards, the advertisements that are on our buses to show the dates and the locations of the hearings.
Okay, so there are a lot of good information that they can be able to know what meeting is going to be closest to them if they want to come out.
Exactly.
Okay. And what were the dates again for the meetings?
It starts November 13th and it goes to the 20th. There are some locations that we have a day meeting as well as a night meeting, because we understand that people can't always leave work. So we want to have meetings during the evening, but then some people also like to go during their lunch break. So we have some meetings downtown where people can go either during their lunch break or after work.
Tom, thanks again, and good luck with Baltimore Link and the winter service changes.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Just ahead, a look at rail and transit safety and tips on how you can help make your ride on transit a pleasant and safe one. Stay with us.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Keeping transit safe for our riders and the communities we serve is a very important part of the MTA mission. We want you to know how to remain safe in your travels on and around MTA rail and bus. Joining us with tips on how to remain safe is MTA Police Captain Kelly Holman. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
So why is rail safety such an important initiative for MTA?
Well, rail safety is important because it actually sustains life and property. That's the main reason. Number two, it helps us keep our systems on time and keep our citizens getting to where they need to be.
We know accidents happen, but how can you go about reducing the number of rail accidents or avoiding them altogether?
Remove the distraction. Earphones, cell phones, just talking, keeping your attention away from the actual act or whatever your intended activity is. On top of that, MTA police participate in what's called Rail Safety Week. during Rail Safety Week, specifically on Transit Thursday, and this year it was September the 24th through the 30th. MTA Police, as well as the MTA Safety Department, participated in an initiative where they handed out literature to the patrons during the rush hour morning, just to give them some safety tips on how they should act, what they should expect while they are aboard the system.
So what are some other ways that MTA is getting the word out about rail safety?
We do message boards, public service announcements while you're within the system, whether that be metro or bus. We also have officers riding the light rail system handing out literature on a regular basis.
And I know that you have people that are also driving. What are some tips for them when they're driving around the train tracks?
Remember, anytime is train time, and patience is a virtue. If the gate arm is down, take the time to wait and do not go around the gate arm. Oftentimes people are impatient and in a rush to their destination, and they may go around the gate arm. In doing so, you risk your life and the life of someone else, and possibly being fined for doing it.
And a number of people tend to do that.
Yes.
Try to cut in front of a train thinking
Yes.
that they have time.
Mm-hmm.
So now, besides just the injury or possibly death, what are they looking at if they're fined for doing that type of thing?
It's a 1-point violation against your license, as well as a $90 fine.
Oh wow, so it can be pretty hefty.
Yes.
And I know you said distraction is a big part of it. So this is like, even for people that are walking, just be
Be very mindful. Yes, you're mindful of your surroundings all the time. Removing your headphones, because of course the headphones, you're being entertained, but it's also blocking out your surroundings. So we ask people to remove your headphones, be very mindful of your surroundings. Reduce the amount of time you're spending on the phone so that you can actually hear and see what's going on around you.
And oftentimes people are racing around. They're rushing to get, maybe to make a transfer from one, transit mode to another, or, running down the escalator or something like that. They just have to be careful all the time.
Careful all the time, walk and not run, hold on to the railings, standing back from the platform edge. Trains come in at an awfully fast rate sometimes. We have an Acelo train on the tracks. Standing back will keep you safe, as well as other people.
Okay. So again, the top 3 things for people to be mindful of.
Remove the distraction. Remember, anytime is train time, and utilize your handrails when you're in the system.
Thank you, Kelly. This is all good information. And I know you'll be back with us a little later in the show to talk about another important MTA police initiative.
Yes.
Thank you. Just ahead, a look at how MTA is honoring and recognizing exceptional employees within the agency. Stay with us.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
MTA knows its employees are an important part of making transit work throughout the state. That's why the agency has developed an employee recognition program to honor those who provide excellent service and exceptional work performance. It's called the Superstars Employee Award. MTA Superstars Award Coordinator Jennifer White joins us with a look at this special employee recognition program. Welcome to Commuter Connections.
Yes, thank you, Sandy.
So tell us, what is the Superstars Award program?
The Superstars Awards program is geared toward our professional operators, both in rail and in bus operations.
And how did the program come to be?
The program came to be around 2 years ago when it was recognized that we did not have a program that was based on key performance indicators that were relying on our key objectives in our mission statement for MTA, which are safety, reliability, efficiency, and world-class customer service.
So how are the employees actually honored?
Well, we came up with a system that it's a point-based system. And so monthly there are different key performance indicators that are assigned points. And on a monthly basis, those points are tallied at each of our 6 divisions. The top performers, professional bus operators, are awarded a set of points based on their performance.
So which employees are actually honored?
The professional bus operators and our professional light rail operators, as well as our metro professional operators.
Okay. And how do you go about selecting them? Like, what's normally the process?
There are key performance indicators that they score points on a monthly basis. Those points are tallied, and then on a monthly basis they are recognized, and then on quarterly basis, and then as on an annual basis.
And how do you go about making the presentations?
Oh, it's actually a lot of fun. And so the operators are notified by their superiors, and so they know that they're going to get a phone call and have a meeting, get their picture taken, and small interview. And so I generally go out, or someone goes out and takes a video and picture of those superstars, and does a little interview, gets more information. At that point, we have the information to go ahead and promote them on social media. The largest recognition comes when they're given personally a signed certificate from our administrator at one of his executive meetings, and that's when they receive their certificate.
Where are the presentations normally held?
The presentations actually for the quarterly are held at one of the administrators' executive meetings. And so it's in front of all of the leadership here at M.MTA. And so it's a very big honor to be able to go in front of those individuals and be awarded their certificate of honor.
So, and I know you mentioned that they're getting certificates. Is there anything else that they receive as well?
In addition to the certificate, on a monthly basis, all of the operators that receive 14 points or more, their name is on a board which is posted at each of their divisions. So it's a bragging right.
Okay.
We also offer the pin, which they will receive to put on their lanyard or on their uniform as a recognition of being chosen as a superstar, or being awarded actually as a superstar, and for endorsement.
And I have seen some of the employees with the lanyards and different pens around, so that's a way to showcase them. And I guess the more you have,
That's correct, yes.
the more of a top employee you are.
Certainly.
Okay.
We also do a quarterly awards, which the quarterly awards, they're narrowed down from the folks that made the 14 points monthly. They're narrowed down to the top performer at each of our locations. So there's generally 6, and they get their picture on a board which designates them as superstars. So it's a lot of bragging rights for them as well. Most times we should have 1 from each division, but we really have had some tough competition. We have over 1,400 bus operators, and so to be recognized as a top operator, a bus operator, a top light rail operator, a metro operator, it's a huge distinction of honor. And so they get their poster, they get their award and their certificate in front of, of course, a lot of the leaders in the organization.
That's great, and I assume it'll get people motivated to be a superstar themselves.
And it looks like it has. So when I talk to most of our winners, our superstars, they're already mentoring. They're such professionals, and they come to work. If you ask them what they enjoy most, a lot of times it's taking care of the public, it's interacting with the public, seeing their regular customers. I'm thinking to myself, wow, people do come to know those folks. They really do come to know them. They get on the bus, they know them by name, and it's funny because when we post those folks on the superstars on social media, we get thousands sometimes of responses, positive responses. So we really are involved in the community. It really brings our frontline employers front and center, which is what we'd like to do. They're so important to us and our success. And so we've got the mentors, and the supervisors have said that it brings a lot of attention, a lot of morale, a lot of ribbing, at some points, but really fantastic responses from the organization, and they're very happy for each other. One of the things that they most enjoy, if you ask them about the MTA or being with the MTA compared to past circumstances, is that they really enjoy being part of a family, and so they're very happy for each other. And there are 6 divisions, and so there's 4 bus divisions, and so they each at those divisions feel like they're a family, and so when one of them wins, they're very excited for each other. Yes.
And how many people have won so far?
Well, we have 6 divisions, 4 bus divisions, 1 light rail link, and then we have the metro link, and it's one person scores the highest over the quarter. And so it should be around 36 people or 32 people at this point. However, we get ties, and sometimes we get triple ties for that very top, excellent 100% service. And so this past quarter, and I can see as the quarters have progressed, we had 6 the first quarter, it was 7 the first quarter, we had 6, which was right on par. But our last quarter, I think we had 11. So 11 folks scored so high that they all made that distinction of superstar. And so that's very nice to see as well.
That's wonderful. So what's next for Superstars?
Well, we're really excited because we are looking at additional superstar pins that will show their tenure, because some of them are winning over and over, and we'd like to differentiate their pins to show that their level of seniority, but also how many times they've been involved in the program. We also want to expand the program. We'd really like to expand the program to our mechanics divisions and different divisions. We do have a small portion of the program that is dedicated to the supervisors in other departments that might not be on the front line, but do have a lot to do with the trickle-down effect of spreading our mission and making sure that our MTA, all of those factors are front and center. And so the supervisors in those departments can write a letter to our administrator, and he will invite them and choose one of those individuals who he feels represents the organization and our mission most superiorly. Now, that's what we have now. We would really like to bring this full circle, and so we're looking at other departments, other divisions, and trying to set up the metrics that are fair and the point system that will make sure that the folks that try and really sustain and really rise above are the ones that are recognized.
Well, it sounds like you all are doing a great job, and that the employees are doing a great job in being a face for the agency.
Absolutely.
Well, I wish you well with the program and hope it continues to grow. It sounds like your numbers are increasing.
They are.
Every quarter, right?
Yes, they are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Absolutely.
Just ahead, we'll introduce you to an important community outreach initiative of the MTA Police Force. We'll have a look at their holiday Adopt-A-Family program. Stay with us. MTA is not just the transportation service provider. The agency cares about the community it serves and makes a difference in the community through a number of important outreach programs. One of them is the annual MTA Adopt-A-Family initiative. MTA Police Captain Kelly Holman joins us with more on this special program. So what is the MTA Police Adopt-A-Family program?
It's a community outreach program. Basically, we adopt a family during the holiday season and provide the entire family whatever's on their wish list.
And how did the program come to be? What got this all started?
In 2002, the MTA Police realized that there was a need. We wanted the community to know that we are more than just law enforcement. We actually care about the community we serve.
And are all the officers involved? Like, how many actually take part in this initiative?
Every last officer donates their time and their money to participate in this Adopt-A-Family initiative.
Wow. So it's all hands on deck.
Yes,
huh?
it is. Yes, it is.
And how often is this done? Is it an annual event?
Oh, yes, it's an annual event. We do it through the Christmas holiday.
So now with the families, how many are you actually helping each year?
Well, each year it can go between 10 to 12 families. Since 2002, we've served approximately 238 families.
Well, that's quite a few. And is it mainly, I know you said the holidays, is it at Christmas? Is it also at Thanksgiving?
It's just at Christmas.
At Christmas time, okay. And how do you go about selecting these families?
Well, actually, the Baltimore City school system selects those families for us. They provide us a list of the families who've said they needed some assistance.
And with the items that you all are giving at the holiday time, what are some of the things that the kids are asking for?
Bicycles, computers, video games, baby dolls. I think the parents more so ask for clothing, but the kids, of course, they would like the toys. And we provide them for them.
Okay, so it's anything they want.
Anything they desire.
And how do you go about getting the funding for all that? I guess it can be pretty costly.
The officers, they donate. They have big hearts, and they dig deep during the holiday season. Actually, each entity within the police department gets a family. and that one entity, whatever's on the list, they provide for the family.
That's wonderful. That's very generous.
Yes, it is.
Now, where are the presentations when you're actually delivering all these wonderful items to the families? Where does that take place?
Whatever school the families come from, that's the school where the presentation is held.
Is Santa there, or what goes on at the
Santa's
event?
there. We have Santa and Mrs. Santa. We have little elves, which are the officers. They come in toting gifts. The kids are all lined up with smiles. We provide a very light fare. Our chief of police is present, as well as all the rest of the command staff. It's a wonderful event. Parents are extremely happy and pleased.
I was going to say, what response do you get from the parents and the children?
Parents are so grateful. With tears in their eyes, they come up to us afterwards and just say, thank you, we really appreciate it. We even have provided them with gift baskets for themselves so that they can be able to provide a nice dinner for the family during the holiday.
That's absolutely wonderful. So if someone wants to help, make a donation to help support this initiative, how can they go about doing so?
They can call MTA Police at 410-454-7720. That's our 24-hour dispatch line. Just ask for Captain Kelly Holman and say that they would like to participate in the event, and they'll make sure they get to me.
That's a wonderful initiative. Good luck with everything this year.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
No problem.
It takes many dedicated MTA employees to help make transit operate smoothly throughout the region each and every day. One of these very dedicated people has been driving on MDOT MTA transit bus for a number of years. Today we take you on a behind-the-scenes look at part of the service day of Eastern Bus Division operator Donald Williams.
My name is Donald Williams. My title is an operator over at Eastman Division. I've been an operator for 26 years. The journey's been great. I've enjoyed it. I did the bus, mobility, light rail, subway, and I've also did the Treasury Department. And each job was a challenge. It was something new, and I wanted to learn more and more about the different operations. Yeah, I'm married, and most of the time, if I do church, I go to Abundant Life over on Philadelphia Road. And me and the wife, if we're not in church, we like to do a lot of walking around, love crabs. Most of the time when I come in, I have to report to the dispatch and let them know that I'm here for that available run, that particular run. And then from there, I have to go set up my bus. Pick a bus, I come back and, make sure everything is ready and it's ready to run. And yeah, I picked the line. It's from Harbor East to Northwest. It starts down in Carolina East, and it runs over to the northwest of Liberty Road. This is the beginning of the run with Carolina and Eastern Avenue. And we're getting ready to make our way over to Northwest Hospital. Coming up on Montgomery, the halfway point for the route. The Lime line is a great line. You usually get a seating load, which you can continue to keep on moving. Last stop, end of the line. And I had a large capacity of people coming out. And with the time, I had about 3 wheelchairs. And with the time that I had and the traffic that I ran into, with my turnaround time to give you enough time on this line that you can catch it back up and I still have approximately 4 minutes before I have to turn around and go back. So I could leave on time. That is what has gotten better with the Link, the turnaround time. It's a great job. I'm raising my family on it. Well, it's the best job I've had. We've lived well.
That brings us to the end of another Commuter Connections program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.